you know. And then when they say about the nonsense thing, you call people nonsense. I call nonsense, like Peter Tatchell, you know. Peter Tatchell has been writing defences of paedophilia since PIE, since the time of PIE, and he has never lost a day's work because of it. It's unbelievable. And we're live. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's certainly not Peter Tatchell who was lecturing me on Talk TV the night beforehand from his
But let's
position
do that was. I
position
mean,
as the UK's most unpunished paedophilia advocate. You know,
that
Yeah,
was.
I mean,
It was quite the shocking interview, wasn't it? They seemed prepared, yet fairly unprepared. I
yeah.
mean, they were prepared with the questions that they asked, but what they weren't prepared for was how prepared that you were, both with your knowledge of the subject and your preparedness in actually just saying it out loud on live TV. That was really quite something. They
Well,
were
I'll
like,
tell
what?
you.
No, you can't talk about these people. What do you mean? What? Who? And you're
Yeah.
like, Challoner, this and this. Well, no, he can't defend himself because he's actually serving time in prison right now. That was really quite interesting.
Yes, we're not gonna talk about someone who's not here to defend themselves. Yeah, they won't be there for 24 years
Yes.
because they were convicted of torturing a little girl, Rosanna.
Yes, they were.
Fucking moron. I'm so sick of these people. None of them have any clue of the issue that they pretend to be interviewing anyone on. And when they get something other than the, nodding along, Nish Kumar type, then their brains just fritz, and it's I don't know. It's like, here's another thing. They keep asking me questions that they don't want the answers to. Newsnight did the same thing. Newsnight, Sarah Smith said, how can you compare this to Nazi experiments? I said, well, they're sterilizing autistic children. Is that they're sterilizing gender non-conforming people? Is that good enough? And then when they say about the nonsense thing, you call people nonsense. I call nonsense, like Peter Tatchell. Peter Tatchell has been writing defences of paedophilia since PIE, since the time of PIE, and he has never lost a day's work because of it. It's unbelievable. Yet
it is quite amazing. Because even now, like after that interview, I think he's come the closest that he has come to sort of being questioned, because he started posting on Twitter the exact same response every time, which
he does that all the time.
That letter was that letter was edited. But there's that newspaper article where he's sort of written in defense of the book that he then says that he didn't know he was writing it.
He was tricked into writing it.
Yeah.
Into writing it. And then a year later, he was tricked into writing a good review of it. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
An obvious liar. But it was astonishing that they even tried it. Have they no idea? I think what people have done is that they really have fallen into the trap of believing the hype around you, of believing that actually you are the bad guy, and that like Tatchell is sort of good and true, and he speaks for the trans community. But actually, it turns out that when they were talking to you and they couldn't shut you up over it, which was quite funny. And they were just all, oh my God, like shaking their heads and everything. And oh my God. But I think they were really, it went badly. It looked bad.
Can I tell you something about what my position was? I was here when I was trying to answer the questions, and then they cut away for Peter Tatchell and that other woman, whatever her name is, and a voice in my ear said, "That's great, Graham. That's all we need from you." It's like, what the fuck? And Tatchell is basically lying about me live to my face. And I said to them, they said, no, we'll bring you back. And I said, you better bring me back or I'll sue, and
That's so they did bring you back.
Yeah. And by the way, I want to say there was a guy on Talk TV who has been trying to get me on for months, and that guy lied to me about that it would be a dignified, and I said, who's on with me? And they said Peter Tatchell, and I thought, well, and he said, no, we do kind of, what did he say, responsible conversations or something. So I'm going to be, that guy is going to be in my complaint who I've been in touch with from Talk TV. But I'll tell you another thing as well. The thing that Tatchell did was he did a kind of Gish Gallop, he went into this bizarre rant where he looked like he was going to cry at one point, talking about the children of trans people are being beaten up. It's like, what are you talking about? It's just pure emotional button pushing to make me look like a bigot, and also to distract people from what he's up to, And again, there is no doubt about it. It is absolutely confirmed. Peter Tatchell is a paedophilia advocate, and he is on television all the time. What is going on with the media establishment
about it? He's never apologized. He's never retracted. And
what is going on
you
with
can't go back to advocating for children after you've been a pedophilia advocate.
What is going on with the media establishment in this country that someone like, what was his name? Peter Wilby, who's just been found out to be, was it Peter Wilby? Is that the name? I don't want to get this wrong or I'll be sued by some stranger. The guy who was editor of the New Statesman, and he was just Peter Wilby. He was editor of the New Statesman. He was editor of the Independent on Sunday, or involved with the Independent on Sunday, and he was calling Toby Young a paedophile. He was accusing him while he was a fucking one himself, and also suppressing stories on paedophilia in care homes. This is what we have. And it's not the right, it's the left establishment. It's the left-wing media establishment who are doing all this. And I just can't believe that I'm still swinging in the wind, waiting for people to stand up for me from my former life while all this is going on.
It's
to be
lectured
on morality by Peter Tatchell. Just extraordinary.
Who did anyone from your former life stand up for you? Because I know in the public eye, things really have changed. I mean, it certainly, there was a load of stories, and suddenly you weren't referred to as sort of a bigot or a Nazi. It was very much women's rights. Fighting for women.
I got messages from people I've worked with in the past. No big names, because they know I'll say to them, could you say that publicly, please? But lots of smaller names who I could never ask to come out publicly. People I've worked with on Brass Eye, people I know from when I used to hang around with people like Charlie Brooker. All these people kind of lined up to offer their support. But I wouldn't put them in the firing line. These are just small actors and crew members, who would be destroyed if they were associated with me. But again, it's these bigger names, who, as I always say, opine on everything else under the sun except this subject. They've just been silent as always. I've said before, I've told you about the game Werewolf, the party game Werewolf, that became the show Traitors, which showed that an informed minority will often lose in a battle against an uninformed majority, right? That lesson is still not being learned. And Peter Wilby is a fantastic example. I mean, I remember around the time the Brass Eye episode on paedophilia was written, I remember part of the spirit that was written in was that the kind of insanity around paedophilia was becoming, it was a bit of a media, what might you call it? I'm not sure what word Peter Wilby used, but he kept calling it overreaction or stuff like that, and it was written in that atmosphere. I remember Rebecca Wade was doing Sarah's Law and stuff like this. And I remember our attitude, when we were working on it, was one of, oh, this is just a bit over the top and everything's gone too crazy and they're putting people in danger. And I often wonder, how much, was Peter Wilby's influence working on me then? I remember I used to read The Independent on Sunday, I used to read The Guardian, Like basically, Peter Wilby was able to suppress an entire kind of you might even call it mode of thinking about these subjects. The story about the care that was shared today about the care homes story in the Daily Mail that he tried to suppress. It's horrifying, absolutely horrifying. And we really have to start asking ourselves, how much are these media figures like Tatchell, like Peter Wilby, controlling the narrative around subjects like trans?
We see it, like the BBC are doing it. You saw it just like yesterday.
Yes,
that story in real time. The story is changing.
Let's give people the background. This was a drag queen who was arrested.
Ex-drag queen caught in paedophile hunters sting operation was the first.
That's right.
Former drag queen was caught in an online sting by vigilante paedophile hunters, a court has heard. That was the first story.
Yes.
And then
which was already wrong, may I say, Helen, because he was not an ex-drag queen. He was a current drag queen. He was still being a drag queen when that headline.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And I've got the 3 different versions of it in front of me now. And then and one of the lines in the article from the BBC is Way, what's his name? That's his name, Andrew Way. Way has also been organising the first ever gay pride event for Welsh Bull Powys. Then the next version of the story has changed to man caught in paedophile hunters sting operation. And that line about the organising first gay pride event is still there.
Yeah.
Then the next version of the story, that line's been taken away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just gone.
It was absolutely incredible to see, and it was finessing of a news story by the BBC so that it would fall in line with the current orthodoxy, which is that not only are drag queens the best thing that ever happened, but they should also be reading to children. You know. So basically, we've got an establishment media class who is running interference for these people. They are protecting, they're deflecting, they're doing everything they can.
Honestly, I was shocked by the BBC. I mean, I know the BBC has not, they've not really covered these stories, but to watch it actually be sort of whitewashed in real time was really shocking.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other excellent news outlet, Pink News, who has massively libeled Riley Gaines. I mean, there's just no question that, Riley Gaines, anti-harassment on social media, linked to bomb threat on California Library. And I mean, good for Riley. She's like, lawyer up, guys.
Yeah.
This is happening.
Oh God, I hope she does it.
She's totally doing that.
But let's talk about a few connections, by the way, with Pink News. Let's not forget Pink News employed as a staff writer Jacob Breslau, who was another paedophile advocate. Also, they what was the other thing? Ben Cohen's husband, editor Ben Cohen's husband, used to be a Mermaids trustee. Mermaids has been closed down, because Mermaids hasn't been closed down. Mermaids is under investigation at the moment for these breaches of safeguarding. So when are people going to widen out the way they look at this and connect a few fucking dots? As I say, these are the werewolves. They're the two in amongst the group who are deflecting, lying, saying everything they can to point people the other way. Pink News have written over 75 hit pieces on me, and most famously, they wrote 42 hit pieces on J.K. Rowling in a single week. These people are dodgy as fuck.
I mean, I love the fact that this has given Julie Bindel yet another opportunity to say, this is the time that I sued Pink News. And she's like, DM me, Riley. I've got some info. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But you know what? But people are interested in this now. I mean, really, like Glinner last week was it really like people were saying to me, people were saying, did you see about that? People that don't know me particularly well, like from say people at work, but they were saying, did you see this thing about that the bloke that wrote Father Ted.
Yeah, I tuned in. No, it's
but it was, you know, but the average person on the street, we're now, you know, we're talking about it. It was like, you know, cancel culture gone too far. It was, the narrative had really shifted.
I went to a pub the night after, and 2 people offered to buy me a drink, which is not something that's happened before. Well, you know, I mean, unfortunately, it's you know, while it's been good, it's been probably the most stressful week I've had since this started. I woke up after the Scotland trip, and I had some kind of vision problem, you know, and then I got a credible death threat that I had to report to the police yesterday. But I have the police number, so I'll be following up on that.
So you've reported it to the police. You've taken this seriously. I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, you know, this person has associates who are also criminals. So, you know, it seemed to me I wouldn't have taken it that seriously until I realized that, you know. So
I'm upset. I know that some of the details of it, and I'd say it's even more than a death threat. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, anyway, but like
well, I'm sorry about that, Graham. I mean, honestly, like, it's so sort of commonplace that these sorts of things happen. But taken by itself, that's an unbelievably stressful and terrible thing to have happen to you. I mean, that's just appalling.
That's the problem. The worst part of it is for me that, like, you know, I was just doing stand up to learn how to do it. This was like a 6th gig that I was going to do in front of 100 people, and again, a kind of a way to figure out how to do it. Last thing, I just want to make a quick. I just want to say a quick thing, because sometimes, you know, tweets just disappear into the ether. But I'm going to be going to the Let Women Speak event in Dublin next month, to support Kelly J. Keane and the women she has speaking at her event. And I'm hoping to bring me mum. But that will be dependent on whether the Irish government will guarantee that these women will be safe. We had to expose the UK police with film of them leaving a scene where women were surrounded at one of our events, and then only then did they start giving these women the protection they needed. I would like everyone to draw a lot of attention to that event in Dublin next month, because trans rights activists in Ireland are particularly insane and particularly violent and particularly, you know, they're a bad bunch. Draw a lot of focus onto what's happening in Ireland at the moment, because we really need to keep the people at Kelly's event safe. Even though she sometimes says really annoying things, but she's still someone who needs to be, and the people who speak at her event need to be protected as well. So yeah, let's keep the attention on Ireland, please.
We'll certainly do that. And will you keep us up to date with this police investigation to this death threat that you've had? Because I think this is, you know, I mean, it's just appalling, Graham, and I'm really sorry that it's happening to you.
You know,
but
it is what it is.
Yes, it is.
It is what it is. And again, you know, none of my friends or none of my former colleagues are standing up and doing the right thing. I still find it extraordinary that they can't find the courage to simply say, I shouldn't receive death threats, you know. But anyway, right. I think that's good.
It's a low bar. Yes,
it's
anyway,
a low bar.
It's good. Yeah. But anyway, so well done on getting through Glinnergate.
Yeah,
you did. I mean, you did generate a lot of positive press, and a lot of people sort of, you know, talked about it and said this was wrong. So well done.
Thank you. And look, someone's a request from this person here. Should we just do another hour?
Excellent.
Right. Thank you, everyone. We will see you next week or soon anyway.
See you soon anyway.
Thank you for joining us. That was a good one.
Yes, thank you.